Hello everyone, today I'm here to present you my Cafe Corner 2023 model. It has 2,887 pieces and is a modern version of the original first modular released by LEGO Cafe Corner in April 2007. My motivation to design this model was to start completing my modulars collection. I'm missing the first 7. They are crazy expensive in the second-hand market, and to be fair, they are not as complete or polished as the modern modulars. For instance, Cafe Corner had no interior. And yes, you can expect to see here in the channel the following 6 modulars as modern versions. So if you don't want to miss that, subscribe to the channel. The challenge was to build a version of the Cafe Corner that was still clearly the Cafe Corner, but that also felt like an improvement, and that I or anyone else could build using only new parts for less than 400 euros. To achieve that, obviously I had to rely almost only on parts from the Pick-a-Brick service. And that of course meant I had to make some design changes. Let me show you the main differences. Starting with the exterior, the cafe terrace was modernized. I changed the parasols, tables, chairs, and I added some posts and chains to create a border between the terrace and the exterior, a bit like the restaurant in the Parisian restaurant. Also, I had to change the sign over the door because of parts, obviously. Parts used in the original Cafe Corner are not sold anymore and are very expensive. So I clearly changed the way it was done to create something that looks like flower petals, so that the yellow mug would be like the center of the flower. I like how it got. Also, I needed to change some pieces in the entrances of both the cafe and the hotel, because these parts in dark blue were not available, not the columns and not the arch. So I had to change those to build the same thing in dark blue, but using different parts. There are also some change because there was a part of the side wall of the cafe that could be open. It was really weird, so I changed it to a normal door. In the first and second floors, I only changed a few pieces to take advantage of new parts and colors to give it a more coherent look, nothing big. And I added a few details in the back, a bit of vegetation and an air conditioning device in each of the hotel floors. To keep the costs under control, I sacrificed a bit the look by using panels on the second floor. Not usually a problem on the sides, because typically they will be hidden against another building, but a bit more problematic on the back. On the rooftop, I moved the railing to the front to improve the finishing of the building. I think it looks better this way. And on the tower, originally the animal was parrots and I replaced it with snakes, because parrots in dark bluish gray are not sold anymore. Also, I changed how the rooftop opens. The original building only removed this taller part, which was enough to access the floor when the building had no interior decoration. But I added full hotel decoration with 2 rooms and a bathroom on the last floor. So I had to find a way to remove the full rooftop. That was definitely the hardest part to design on the model, and the one that caused this model to be in design stage since May last year. My first attempt was to include the tower in the rooftop, in a more traditional way to separate the building floors. But it didn't work because there was no way to make the tower stable, having this diagonal direction against the rest of the rooftop. Then I tried to just move the tower out of the rooftop, but that was even worse, because it also made the corner part of the second floor unstable, because it has no big attachment to anything else than the tower. In the original model, it was the part of the roof that was stuck that made the transition between the tower and the rest of the building, that made this second floor part stable and well stuck into the building. So I had to find a way to connect the tower to the side walls to ensure the stability of both the second floor and the tower. And the only way to ensure that stability was using these 1x2 rounded pieces that connect the piece that is the second floor and the tower to the side walls on both sides. So that solved the stability of the tower most of the time. But then to place and remove the roof, I either had big gaps to have space between the tower and the roof, or if I remove those gaps, the tower would easily fall anyway, even with the connection that it had to the side walls. So I had to make here a bit of a weird change. Now I have this way, taking advantage of the 1x2 round plates that by being put together can move a bit with a bit of space where the tower can move. So I can move a bit the tower, put in the roof, and then put the tower back in place. And if I want to remove the roof, then I move the tower a bit again, remove the roof, and place it in this correct spot. I admit that this is really weird, but actually it was the only way to make me satisfied with the end result. Now, let's look at the inside, starting from the ground floor. The original building had no interior at all. You looked through the windows of the cafe and you would see the floor in green because of the green base plate. So I added full interior to the cafe, starting with the tiling to match the canopy colors. Then I added a food counter area, fully equipped and with plenty of shelving showing the available treats. And then I included this moving part of the counter to allow passage. Probably there's a better word for this. I'm not sure if tilting would be inaccurate or not. Of course, the cafe also has several tables and chairs for people to still enjoy their coffee and sweets when it's chilly or raining outside. On the hotel side, I also tiled the floor and redid the stairs to put them against the wall and make them look much better. You may recognize this technique from the stairs on the police station modular. When we go up the stairs to the first floor, we arrive at a small hallway where we have the front desk with just the reservation sheet and an old phone. I designed the hotel as a cheaper place than the boutique hotel, obviously. So to take advantage of the space, I have just a common bathroom per floor supporting the 2 guest rooms. The bathroom has a shower, a toilet and a wash basin. The rooms are simple, with little variations on the furniture, but each room in a specific color. On the first floor, one room is in tones of blue and the other in tones of green. Both rooms have a rug, a bed with a bedside table and a light focus on the wall over it. The green room, the bigger one, has also a small chest of drawers with the same color pattern. On the second floor, the bathroom is exactly equal to the first floor, but the rooms are slightly different. The smaller room is in tones of orange and is a bit thinner because of the different facade. The bigger one is longer, in tones of pink, with an embedded chest of drawers, and has a diagonal wall because of the windows in the facade. I had to align the wall so that it would not be in the middle of the windows. In the first floor this was very easy to do because of the thinner windows, but in the second floor with the larger windows it was a bit harder, so I had to create this diagonal wall here so that the wall would not be in the middle of the window. In terms of minifigures, I added 4 to this model. 2 are employees of the cafe. The cafe is really big, it has a lot of tables, so I believe it needs at least 2 employees, one to be behind the counter, the other to be serving tables. I think it would be the minimum. Then I have a young man that is the receptionist at the hotel. As it's a cheap hotel, I put him in very informal clothes, just like someone having classes at night or doing a part-time job, working in a hotel. I'm assuming that the bike is from him, and that's the way that he would reach the hotel every morning to work. And then I have a 4th minifigure, a generic one. It's a lady with modern style. She can be a guest at the hotel or a customer in the cafe. If you want to build this model, the instructions are available on Rubricable. I'll put a link in the description. All the parts are relatively easy and cheap to obtain. From the 2,887 parts, only 18 are not available in the PAB service. And in August last year, when I first bought the parts, it was only 3. But meanwhile, LEGO stopped selling some of the parts and they are now 18. But all of them are easy to get from Bricklink. From those 18 pieces, 5 are for the furniture in the pink bedroom. If you don't want to buy them, it can be easily changed if you want to use a different palette of colors. One is the bicycle body that stopped being sold in red, which was a classic for LEGO sets, but you still have available the same bicycle body in the Pick-a-Brick service in other colors. So if you don't want to buy them in Bricklink, getting it in a different color will have no impact on the build. The remaining 12 are candle pieces in dark blue that I used for the columns in the entrances of the cafe and the hotel. Those were still available a few months ago in the Pick-a-Brick service, but not anymore. I used them to recreate the 4 dark blue 1x1x6 support pillars that are not sold by LEGO and are almost 10 euros a piece on Bricklink. So there isn't really a way to avoid them. Besides, there are still 500 Bricklink stores capable of providing 12 new candle pieces in dark blue, with most with prices between 5 and 15 cents a piece. So not really an issue right now. Anyone should be able to build this model only with new parts by around 375 euros, within my 400 euros threshold limit. I haven't published videos recently in the channel, but meanwhile we reached 500 subscribers. So thank you everyone. I promise I won't take that long publishing the next video. It will be to show you my Market Street modular model that you can see already in the background. I'm also already acquiring parts for my greengrocer model and I'm designing the fire brigade version. So a lot of stuff going on. Thank you, hope you enjoyed the video, see you soon.